I'm my chip ups, man. I got this, yeah. Hey everybody, Mr. The Fanboy here. Haven't done a video in like 2 weeks. This is my late out of date review slash rant on Bellator 170. I wanted to review this past Saturday when it aired, but I was so angry with the outcome of the main event. I was so angry with the main event of Bellator that I decided to I just wasn't in the mood to review it or talk about anything because Bellator 170 pissed me off. The main event. It was an okay show up until that point, man. Up until that point. Um the show started off with of course this show was the big. I've been waiting for this fight since Bellator 163, Bellator 162 or 163 when it was announced. When Tito Ortiz and Chael Sonnen appeared on the pay-per-view to promote their upcoming fight. So I've been waiting for the Tito Ortiz, the long-awaited fight between Tito Ortiz and Chael Sonnen. Two of the people who, in my opinion, put MMA on the map. Yet Tito Ortiz, with his heel trash talking character, being one of the first real heels in UFC. I mean, one of the first heels to back up what you're saying. You had guys like Gracie and Tank Abbott, but Royce Gracie, in my opinion, was never really that good to me. He was never that good to me. He was a protected fighter, and you had Tank Abbott, who was awesome in the no rules era, but come the Zuffa era, he was surpassed, in my opinion, by better fighters and better athletes. Better athletes. Tito Ortiz was the first real heel, the first heel to talk trash, but back it up in the ring, in the ring. And yet Chael Sonnen, in my opinion, UFC from 2010 all the way up to 2000, I think 2012, in my opinion, was absolutely terrible. It was absolutely terrible. This is when Brock Lesnar was fighting, and there were no good fights during this period. And Chael Sonnen, he was keeping it going with his he was keeping UFC alive with his hilarious promos, and Chael Sonnen, Tito Ortiz, like I said, is Tito Ortiz. I'm mostly a fan of him for his personality. His personality and his toughness. He's not that good of a fighter to me. Chael Sonnen, in my opinion, is a pretty good fighter. Not super like some other fighters in MMA, but a pretty awesome fighter. A pretty awesome fighter. So I was really looking forward to this fight, and Chael Sonnen was the guy I was expecting to win this fight. Like I said, the show was okay from beginning to end. You had Derek Campos defeating Derek Anderson in a solid opener. Nothing special here. I didn't care much for the Emmanuel Sanchez match, so I really don't remember what it was about. But Emmanuel Sanchez defeated Georgi Karagyayan by unanimous decision. The middleweight fight between Hasaki Kaido and Relic Garcia started off slow, but it picked up it picked up towards the end of round one, and Hisaki Kato defeated Relic Gracie unanimous decision in a pretty awesome match. However, it started off kind of terrible. Paul Delay destroyed Brennan Ward. It started off even, but he destroyed him with that flying knee, which became the highlight of the night. Highlight of the night. Highlight of the night. I was disappointed this fight ended early, but like I said, that's one thing I love about Bellator. You don't see that many decisions, which the fights finished. But I wanted this to go on long because you had two of the hardest hitters in Bellator. But the main event, Tito Ortiz and Chael Sonnen. It started off great, but and here was the part I had a problem with. When I'm happy to see I'm not the only one. I've seen other people commenting on this fights. When Tito Ortiz locked Chael Sonnen from the rear naked choke, I thought Sonnen would either escape or hide out the rest of the time and stall for the rest of the time, hold out for the rest of round one and restart in round two and try to knock Tito Ortiz out, because I had Chael Sonnen winning this fight because he's a much better fighter than Tito Ortiz. But the build up and everything to this fight was phenomenal, was awesome. This is what pro wrestling should be. This is what pro wrestling should be now. But the build up, and this is real. And this was real. So it wasn't scripted like wrestling. But the build up to this, but the fight itself, and out of nowhere, quickly, Chael Sonnen immediately taps. In my opinion, leading this led to the accusation of, was this fight fixed? And this is always a problem I have when Bellator has two main event caliber fighters fighting. Two not main event caliber, legends fighting. Whenever they have two legends fighting. This happened back in 2015 with Ken Shamrock and the late Kimbo Slice. Their fights are always suspect. Their fights always look and seem fixed. You had Ken Shamrock, a guy who's excellent on the ground, locking Kimbo Slice in a rear naked choke, and Kimbo Slice, who is terrible on the ground, managed to power out of it, and eventually knock out Shamrock. And it looked like Shamrock just let go. I took Shamrock's word for it, where he thought the referee was about to stop it, so he let go, but that fight had looked fixed. And then this one right here looked fixed. He tapped out way too quickly. This is a bit of problem I have with Bellator whenever they have legends fighting. All their fights, whenever they have legends fighting, their fights always seem suspect, and their fights are always disappointing whenever they have two legends fighting. This is the problem. This is the only problem I have with Bellator. And I like Bellator much more. I like and watch Bellator much more than I watch the UFC, man. The UFC. I've been trying to catch UFC, but apart from Conor McGregor, that Cody guy, and several other fighters in the female division, don't watch much of UFC, especially hearing all these changes the new owners of UFC are making, getting rid of Mike Goldberg, but who, along with Joe Rogan, are the of UFC, were the voices of UFC, firing Chuck Liddell, who, since he's gone now, I hope he makes that George Foreman comeback to Bellator that he was talking about. But yeah, like I said, I'm more of a fan of Bellator. I think they have much better fighters, and I think they have much better fights and much better shows, and gives you more variety, especially with their partnership with the Ryzen Federation. But this right here, a fight I've been looking to for months, the main event was just disappointing, man. And I hope future main events aren't like this, man. But man, that was like I said, the fights was so yeah, like I said, all of their fights between legends are just suspect, man. Suspect. Well, this was my late out of date review rant on Bellator 170. The next video I'm gonna do my thoughts on the upcoming Bellator events. All right, I'm done, people. Yeah. Can't be touched, can't be
game and all the pussy that come